What is up, YouTube? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day, and if you are, that is amazing. If you want to make my day a little bit better, you could go down and smash that like button because it truly does help out a channel as small as mine. I know if you've been following along to the channel, I haven't made one of these videos in a while because I've been focusing on getting out more content, just general content that more people can follow. But I do still want to incorporate daily news and newsworthy things that are going to impact the stock market. So I wanted to share with everybody a little bit of a warning. It's not like I'm telling you to sell everything. I'm just putting out a little bit of a warning. It's a pretty common warning that a lot of people have been saying for the last couple of months, obviously with everything going on. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so let's get into the actual video part that I wanted to talk about. So obviously everybody knows about the virus and everything that's going on with the virus. This is straight from Google, as you see. The thing that everybody normally talks about is the new cases. And new cases is super important. There's been a lot of pushback that, the death rate isn't as high as they said it was gonna be and this and that. But there's a couple factors that I don't think a lot of people are considering. As you see, around June 15th is when we kind of had the bottom, you could say, or the turning point, and where cases started to rise again. So June 15th, and we know that this virus takes anywhere from 14 to 21 days to run its course, essentially. A lot of people have been ignoring or muting this fact because they don't believe that these are new cases, and some of them may not be new cases because there has been such a problem with testing and things like that. There's been a lot of reasons to doubt the coronavirus new cases tracker. But regardless, when you're talking about 18,000, 30,000, you get up to 50,000 here later on, you have to assume that maybe some of those are actual cases. And who knows what the actual percentage. So I like to look at new deaths. And this was like a real reason why so these are COVID deaths. And this is like the real reason people were arguing against it, because the death rate was constantly going down, and we didn't see new deaths. So June 30th to the 1st, you kind of see a bottom form. You see it kind of slows down and you don't see the death rate stops going down. Almost exactly 14 days after, you start getting those real numbers on the new case side. So once you start hitting this 50,000 point, right, which is July 1st, end of June, we're going from 40 to 50,000. So we having a huge spike up. Look at the death rate 15 days after, which would be around today. We start to see these spikes going back up. This is a real concern. If this starts spiking, people are putting off the COVID thing right now. But if this continues to spike, and we see this trend follow the new case trend and start spiking, I think that's going to cause a lot of panic in the market. Because a lot of people are assuming, essentially, they have priced out the COVID environment and they just are focused on the recovery. And now that we're getting closer to the end of July, you're going to get into August, September, you're starting to get into those fall seasons. If we have a spike if COVID continues to grow, and then we start getting the flu, you're going to see all the hospital beds start filling up. That's the real concern, is not having enough hospital beds to treat people properly, because most hospitals around the United States are almost at max capacity for what they can actually handle to give people proper care when it comes to COVID. And it's one of those things where if you can treat it, then you can survive it. It's got a really good survival rate. But what happens when our treatment of the actual virus, or the ability to treat it, goes down? Then it's not as survivable because you're not getting the proper care. And then you introduce the flu season, and then you could see even higher flu deaths than you normally see because those patients aren't getting the proper treatment that they normally would receive. So it's not just COVID that we have to be concerned about. It's also the flu virus that we have to be concerned about. And I think the combination of both could be super severe, and a lot of people aren't paying attention to it. And they've been screaming, look at new deaths, there's no new deaths, the death rate's going down. Well, what if that's not the case anymore? What if that actually changes and the death rate starts going back up? And then you're gonna see a lot of people in the market start getting a little scared because they put on a little bit more risk because You know, they thought they missed the rally and they thought the recovery was fully in swing. And I don't believe that the country's gonna shut down again. I think the real concern here is, what if the consumer is just too scared to go out and do things? What if restaurants don't return? What if it's just the stay-at-home market? And what if businesses start working from home on a more regular basis? It's not necessarily that the economy shut down, it's just the fear of going outside is a big impact to the recovery. So here we are looking at the market. This is the S&P 500. This is the initial drop from COVID. Yeah, so it does look like we have a double top, and I wouldn't be super surprised to, I'm not saying that it's gonna go down as fast as it did over on this side over here, but it wouldn't surprise me if we do, mark this up, we do see kind of that kind of action too. Obviously, I don't know if it's going to get down to these lows, but you know, you have this support here, which could be a good number to look for, that 2700. And you're almost seeing it in the MACD too. You're kind of seeing a little bit of weakening, and we could see momentum switch to go down. You guys can do whatever you want to do. This is just kind of a warning more than anything else. Yes, there was talk of a potential vaccine coming out, but how fast is that vaccine going to be able to be made is a big question. And there's a ton of regulatory things that were skipped in the making of that vaccine. So how many people in the public are actually going to want to take a drug that didn't go through the normal vetting process? A lot of data is kind of sending me down this trail, and I kind of think that more people need to be aware of it. And I could be completely wrong, and we could see this break back up to the upside and we're off to the races again. It's all based on news. But if you have any positions out there that are like a weaker position, you weren't 100% confident when you bought it, I would just kind of shore up your portfolio, maybe take a little bit of profit if you have some profit to take. You know, not necessarily get out of the market, but just maybe give yourself a little bit better cash position, stuff like that. If this video was helpful, could you please go down and smash that like button and then hit the subscribe button so you're caught up with all future videos that I do. Again, charting is not my thing. I normally don't do it, but I will occasionally pull up a chart just if I see trends that I kind of want to point out. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys are having a great day. Peace.